My bad. What's up, y'all? I think I was supposed to be on here at 4:15. I would like to apologize. Your girl was tired. I had a interview today, and it was I didn't sleep well. Didn't get that much sleep because I was tired. So we're gonna talk about spiritual attachment first, and then we're gonna get into the love spells horror stories. Please, y'all. Please, I don't care what you do. Please do not do a love spell on nobody. So we're gonna start with Tati creepy stories with the spiritual attachments. And then she has a story. We're gonna do like 2, 3 stories of that, and then we're gonna jump into love spells. Hold on. I love her. Y'all go check her out on TikTok. Man,
Story
her
time about the
videos.
time I saw this attached to a person. Now, if you've been following me for a while, then you probably heard the story years ago, but there's so many new of you guys on here that I felt the need to reshare. Years ago, when I used to work in the ER, I would work the night shift. It was about 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm in the front, like out in like the check-in desk by myself, when I see a guy and 2 ladies walking. Now, the guy looked to be like he was about in his 20s. One of the ladies, you could tell that it was probably his mom, and the other lady, I'm not really sure, maybe a family member. They come in, and I noticed that one of the ladies is looks literally just like this, like, but she has like something covering her face, and she has her arm again, like around like his mom's arm. Working in the ER for so many years, I've seen so many different things. I didn't think anything of it. I just assumed that's just how she dressed and kind of ignored it. He walks up to the front desk. The 2 ladies sit on like the chairs that were like right to my right. He comes up to me, tells me what he's there for. I check him in. Since he was going to be coming in with the 2 ladies, I went ahead and I handed him 2 visitor passes. When I handed him the passes, he looked at me confused and said, "I'm only here with one person. Who's the second pass for?" And I look over and I no longer see the lady that was dressed like this. I just see his mom sitting there by herself. And I was like, "Oh, I thought that your mom came in with her friend, like the other lady. I could have sworn I saw 2 people." He got so mad. Like it was almost like partly like scared and then like offended at the same time. He was just like, "No, there was only one person. Like, where did you see 2 people? There's just one person." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, maybe I'm just tired. Like, I must be seeing things." And I kind of just gave him the one visitor pass. He was just like, "Yeah, you clearly are seeing things." Like, he got mad. I was like, "Whatever." The time comes for him and his mom to go to the back, and I don't see them anymore. About a half an hour goes by, and one of my coworkers, it was just me and her. So I was in the front checking people in, and she was in the back, like finishing the registration. She comes to the front and she is freaking out. I asked her what's wrong. She tells me, "I just had the craziest thing happen to me. I went into this one room to get this guy's information, and I just had chills, and I felt like," she said she felt like this sense of like dread and that she was scared, and she just knew that there was something there, like something dark with him. I asked her what room was it, and she tells me it's the same room of the guy that I checked in with his mom and her friend. So I told her that we should just kind of pray and kind of ignore it. When he got released, that he was getting ready to leave, he's walking out, and I made the mistake of looking over and seeing his mom. His mom face literally reminded me of this. So yeah, that lady was 100% practicing some sort of dark, extremely dark stuff. Like she knew what was attached to her. And just looking at her face, like I just knew that she was involved with something that I wanted absolutely nothing to do with. To this day, anytime I see like this pattern or like this pattern, like it brings me back because that's what the her friend was wearing. Story time about the time I saw this.
I actually saw that in a dream. I saw that with morning at one point. And now that I think about it, back then, a lot of people was like, "Oh, well, maybe she did something." Okay, so my grandma didn't practice in that stuff. My grandma was a sweet old lady. When she came and told me about my granddad, and now that I think about it, I'm gonna do a story time on it. I really believe that somebody in my family, because they wanted something, I believe that they were doing some stuff just to make my grandfather sick. Because my grandfather had a breathing problem out of nowhere. My grandfather was doing fine. I truly believe that. But yeah, that's a spiritual attachment. All right, let's see. Let me look up some more. Get like 2 more videos, 2, 3 more videos. Uh, I don't know why this girl sounds so low, but we're gonna go into it.
And then all of a sudden, when you finally cut them off, you're like, yo, what the hell was I even thinking? Entertaining them? Yeah, that wasn't you. That was a whole spiritual parasite attached to you. Just like how your body can have parasites that crave sugar and junk food, you literally have spiritual parasites that crave mess, toxic love, drama, fake friendship. They literally feed off of the chaos. That's why you kept going back to that dude who clearly ain't got no emotional maturity. Or that's why that friend always had a slick comment, but you still let her in close. Even the ones who low key hate on you, but keep watching your every move, that's spiritual attachment. And it tricks you into thinking you're the one who's wrong, you're being too sensitive, or you need to fix something about you. But the second you finally fall back, get quiet, cleanse your energy, you be like, was I really entertaining that? So, how do you get rid of these spiritual leeches? Take your spiritual baths, salt, herbs, prayers. Do cord cutting rituals, not just for lovers, but for fake friends too. Energy healing helps big time. Reiki, breath work, aura work. Protect your energy every day, especially before you go to sleep. And stop feeling bad for outgrowing people who are draining the life out of you. You're not crazy, you're not cold, you're just finally clear. And those parasites, they're hungry without your energy now. Let them starve. You got healing to do. Have you ever stopped talking to somebody, a man, a friend, a family member?
Okay, let's see.
Tell me what's the creepiest experience you ever had in your life and why you still think about them.
Mine was when I really understood about my gifts and why everybody can't walk up to no casket and how spirits will attach to you if they're really not ready to go. I was about 10 years old and my grandfather passed away. So we had to drive to Lexington, Kentucky, which wasn't far because that's where the homestead was, right? If you know about Lexington, Kentucky, Lexington has a lot of haunted places. And I remember clear as day that my mother told me and you cannot go everywhere else that the family is going to go. Did I listen? I didn't listen. I distinctly remember riding by, I think it was a library, and they told me not to look, and I looked. I think y'all know what happened next. I'm going to leave that story for later. But anyway, so when we got to my grandfather's wake, they told me, don't go up there to the fucking casket. Guess what I did? When I went up there, his eye opened. Y'all, y'all want to know what happened that night? Whew, shit.
Tell me what's the creepiest experience you ever had in your life.
See if I can find that story. Hold on. I think. Hold on, y'all. I want to find her part too. Mm, one moment while I find it. One moment. We might go to another story. Hey, Miss Stacey Ray. One moment. My bad, y'all. Okay, here go another story. I ain't gonna waste my time trying to find that lady's story, but obviously her grandfather was attached to her.
Stranger, especially in the city. I remember that man in New Orleans that was going around trying to rub elbows with people. This experience that I had this weekend reminds me of that. So my girl and I was in the city just chilling. We were at a bar and we met these two girls. My homegirl had went to college with one of the girls that was at the bar. She was there with her stepsister and we all just hit it off. The bar was trash, so we all decided let's just go find somewhere nice to sit outside and enjoy the weather. So we find this place on Canal Street. It's basically where there's a lot of those vendors, sell knockoff purses, sunglasses, etc. Me and the girls, we sat there for a couple of hours talking about spirituality, talking about everything. Most of the vendors ended up leaving during that time. There was this one guy that stuck around. He would like pace up and down the block, but like we're not really thinking much of it. So we're getting ready to wrap it up and head out when this guy walks up to us, looks at my friend. We're gonna call her Lizzo. He looks at Lizzo. No hi, no compliment, no intro. He just looks at her dead in the eye and says, I have a gift for you. In his hands, he was holding this bracelet. He opens the bracelet, and the second he does that, it's like time just slowed down. It's like I was suddenly stuck in a dream. Everything seems loopy. And without thinking deep into it, she holds out her wrist, and he puts the bracelet on her. The whole time, y'all, my chest is tight. I can't breathe. This feels wrong. I can't put my finger on it, but I know something about this is off. At this point, this man had walked off like nothing happened. Again, doesn't even ask her for a number, nothing. Gave her this bracelet and walked away. My friend is looking at this bracelet all smiley and shit. She's like, oh, that was so sweet. Now, Lizzo is beautiful. The whole day we were hanging out, let me tell you, that girl had suitors, okay? I didn't want to seem jealous, but something told me this isn't normal. So I whispered, I said this under my breath. She's looking at it like, ooh, and I go, ooh, girl, take it off. I'm not sure in that moment if she heard me. One of the girls that we ran to at the bar, she's indigenous, and she was sitting right next to Lizzo. So she's like, oh, let me see. So Lizzo turns to her to show her the bracelet. And the minute this girl saw the bracelet, she looked at it and the bitch froze. And then she goes, oh no, I don't like this. And immediately starts freaking out because this reminds her of what happened to her in New Orleans with a similar situation, and she almost died. And in that moment, I knew it wasn't just me, so I said louder, you need to take that off. Without hesitation, homegirl takes off the bracelet. Now, the thing is, everything happened so fast. The total time that she had on that bracelet had to be 30 seconds to a minute. Well, she took off the bracelet. That's when her wrists start burning. The exact placement where she clasped the necklace off were red bruises and what looked like welts starting to form. This story, unfortunately, does not end here as we were haunted in the city. If you want to hear how this horrifying story escalated, leave a comment for part 2. And make sure you're following me for more spooky content. If you're wondering about the mask on my face, it is the bio dance mask. Reading is fundamental. I was supposed to do this overnight, but it's supposed to dry clear in 3 hours. And it's starting to dry on the side. But you know what? I had to come out and do a story for y'all looking like this. Like I say in every single video, I love you, my abducted humans, from your favorite Haitian homegirl.
Okay. While I'm out there, I don't take stuff when I'm out there. When I go out. All right, so let's go to the love spells. Now, please don't do one. Don't make nobody love you. You may not do anything. Okay, so we're going to share a couple of love spell stories. Why is it not scrolling up? Oh, that's because I'm already there. And we're going to listen to Rebecca Journey. I love Rebecca Journey. Shout out to her. She always say don't do one. I say the same thing, don't do
I did
one.
a love spell on someone I was in love with and it worked. But what came after, I wouldn't wish it on anyone. I am back with another spooky story. I'm gonna call the person who submitted the story Nia. Nia said, I need to tell you something that I never thought I'd admit out loud. We're gonna call her crush Micah. His name was Micah. He had a girlfriend, but however, Nia didn't care. Nia said that she knew that Micah was supposed to be hers. Micah would smile at her sometimes, talk to her a little too long, and Nia thought maybe, just maybe, if she had a little help to help sway him from his girlfriend to her, she would be golden. Nia said that she knew what she felt for Micah was real. And in her eyes, Micah's girlfriend, we're gonna call her Rhea. To Nia, Rhea was just in the way. So Nia had heard about this woman in town that people were whispering about. They said that she could make things happen. So Nia went to the woman and told her that she wanted Micah to love her and only her. Now the woman looked at Nia long and hard before she said, and I quote, I can give you what you're asking for, but once it starts, you can't undo it. Nia said she didn't care, so she said yes because she wanted him. The woman gave her specific instructions on what to do. She needed a red candle, his photo, a little bit of honey, some personal ingredients like personal item, a prayer over water at midnight, and some of her menstrual. Now, Nia says she followed the instructions exactly to the T. She said, and let me tell you, it worked fast. Micah started texting her out of nowhere, and he started texting her more and more. He would find himself showing up where she was at, suddenly telling her that he couldn't stop thinking about her. He even said to her one day that he left his girlfriend, Rhea, out of the picture, gone. Nia said in that moment, hearing that this man done left his girlfriend, Rhea, for her, she said that, to be honest, she felt powerful. She felt chosen until in one night.
Give me 1 minute, y'all. My bad, y'all. I had a phone call. Oopsie.
Night, Micah shows up outside of Nia's house, crying, boohoo crying. And he just said to her out of nowhere, why did you do this to me? I can't eat, I can't think, I feel you even when you're not around. You tied my soul, I know you did something to me. Then out of nowhere, the man smiled. Now, Nia says that this didn't look like his regular smile. It's like his face moved. There was something else inside of him entirely. That's when he leans in and says to her, why didn't you feed it? To be continued. Let me know if you're ready for what happens next, because things only got darker from here. I be telling y'all, do not do a love spell on that man. Make sure you leave a comment for part 2. Before I go map the humans, please make sure I'm holding down the #1 spot to be the Caribbean Music Awards award presenter. Now, this is a chance for all of us spooky girly, all of y'all that see your.
Okay, let's go to this one.
Y'all better be careful who y'all lay next to, because your life may just depend on it. Story time. Fortunately, this is not my story. This is my friend's story. And for the sake of this story, we're just going to call my friend Amanda. So me and Amanda met in real estate school. We were only there about 2 months, and we developed like a real friendship. While being in real estate school, we go out, get food together, me, her, and 2 other girls. This particular day, we decide to go to this little pizza joint. Really, only Amanda wants food from this place, so we get her food. She comes out saying that she met this really cute guy, and it just so happened as we're getting ready to leave, he's walking out. So it was like love at first sight. We all are in the car, kind of like, oh my God, you know, he even stepped with all of us in the car, so you knew he meant business. You know, telling her how beautiful she is and how he wants to take her out, you know, shooting his shot, coming correct. So, of course, they exchanged numbers, and the rest is history. For the sake of this story, we're going to call old dude Greg. So, Greg is like a Spanish guy, probably about 6 feet tall, but he works and moves around a lot. The reason he was out here is because he has a son out here. So, occasionally he comes back and forth from Louisiana to Georgia when he's not traveling for work. Y'all, things just start moving really fast with Greg and Amanda. Amanda had just got out of a relationship, and here we are thinking that, you know, God has sent her knight in shining armor. Now, Greg is going all out for Amanda. I mean, taking her, basically flying her out to Louisiana, getting her all type of gifts, you know, spoiling her, treating her how a woman is supposed to be treated. Now, because of Greg's job, he always would get a room whenever Amanda would come to Louisiana to see him. I'm like the investigator friend. So any news that I'm told, I'm always going to kind of do my research. I'm also the friend that you come to when you feel like you're tripping, and I give you confirmation that you're not. And I read cards. So let's just say I'm very intuitive. So me being me, Amanda is telling me everything that's going on, and of course I'm rooting her on because what she came from versus the man that stepped in, it's like, okay, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and he doing a damn thing. But some of his stories and the things that she's telling me is not really making sense. So you make a lot of money, but yet y'all are starting to get serious. Fast forward to 6 months down the line, and he's still only getting rooms when you come and see him. That kind of raises a little red flag for me because it's like, do you have a house? Now, both Greg and Amanda are kind of in their 40s. So Amanda's naturally just going based off what he's telling her. One night, it was late at night, and he had to get up and go to work probably 2 or 3 hours. Amanda gets up, goes to the bathroom, but she feels like she's being watched. Now, if you from New Orleans, you from Louisiana, you already know kind of what get down out there. And her senses started kind of telling her like she's not alone. She feels like every move she makes is being calculated or accounted for. It's to the point where now she's spooked, she's paranoid, she can't sleep. All of a sudden, she starts to see shadows like dancing on the wall, and she knows at this point she's not getting back up out the bed. Y'all better be careful who y'all lay next to because your life may just depend on it. Story time. Fortunately, this is not my story. This is my friend's story.
Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. So we got part 2, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. We got a part 2.
At this point, Amanda is petrified and literally paralyzed with fear. Y'all, Greg is dead sleep. While all of this is going on, while Amanda is sitting here stuck in fear, he is knocked out. She shakes him to wake him up and ask him, like, yo, do you really have to go to work today? He's like, what's going on, babe? Talk to me. What happened? So she gets to telling him, like, I'm seeing stuff. I'm seeing spirits. I don't know. Like, I'm scared and I don't want to be here by myself. He kind of brushes it off, like, just try to get more rest. Maybe you just saw something that wasn't there. Trying to rationalize it. Now, a little side note about Amanda. Amanda smoked weed like a chimney. Because she was out of town and Greg didn't smoke like that, she just didn't really feel the need to bring her weed. So usually she would smoke her a little blunt, go back to bed, and let bygones be bygones. But right now, Amanda cannot sleep. Greg has to go to work at 5 a.m. So it's still going to be dark when he leaves. It's safe to say Amanda didn't get any rest after that. Greg gets up, ready for work, walks out the door, and now Amanda is just alone in this room. It's still pretty dark out. At this point, Amanda is petrified because she still feels like she's being watched. She has to go to the bathroom again, and she doesn't even want to let her feet touch the floor. Eventually, 7 o'clock rolls around, the sun comes out, and she feels safe to kind of let loose, go to the bathroom, get off the bed, do what she got to do. Now, all while Greg is at work, Amanda still is feeling like she's being watched. She's in a place where she's more comfortable because she can move around. People are awake now. She's not as scared, but she still has that eerie feeling of something being there. Now, Greg is a freak. I don't mean like, ooh, sexy freak. I mean like, ooh, dirty freak. Amanda would be on her period and he would want to eat her out or do the do. And I mean, like, he had absolutely no problem. If anything, he would tell her he likes the taste of. One time when she came to Louisiana to see him, she was on her cycle and she told him that. She basically let him know nothing was going to be going on and to just let it be. And Amanda later wakes up to Greg eating her box while she got ketchup down there.
Wow.
His favorite excuse would always be, oh, I'm just going to do the top. I'm not going to do the bottom. But it was like he loved the taste of her. That's very important to the story. It even got to the point where Amanda was just like, okay, hey, if you like it, I love it. And they would do the do while she was on her cycle. Comment for part 3. This story is just too juicy for me not to give y'all a part 2. So here. Okay, because I know y'all gonna get me.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. Because we're part 3. Okay, here we go.
This story is just too juicy for me not. Y'all ready for that part 3? Before we get into the story, I think I need to check a few of y'all.
Dude, he just out here doing stuff. He ain't got no darn business. But we gonna keep going.
Understand this. I don't want to be like nobody on this app. I'm not trying to act like nobody on this app. I'm not stealing anybody's content. These are facts. These stories really happened. I salute, support, show gratitude to all content creators that are spreading the word, because these things really go on. I'm coming on here to spread awareness because I was not helped into my spiritual journey. I was pushed into my spiritual journey. So with that being said, put both your lips together, sit back and enjoy the story, okay? All right, y'all. So now we're back. This is Amanda's story. At this point, Amanda and Greg have been kicking it for a couple of months. He is literally whining and dining her. They're going on lavish dates. He is basically footing the bill for everything. All Amanda really has to do is show up. Now, of course, as a woman, Amanda is smart. She's not just going into this looking for love. I mean, she's open to it. But at the same time, she's just having a good time because her past with relationships wasn't the best. Honorable mention, Amanda is from Honduras. So Amanda is not really new to this. It's just more so like this situation, this experience was new. She knows all about the spooky stuff. She's experienced some things of her own. And later I'll probably tell more of her stories. It just never happened to her in this way. All right, so they're about 6 months deep at this point. And remember, I told y'all that Greg had a weed farm in California. And he also had one in Oklahoma. Now listen, this is not Greg's first rodeo. Greg actually had been to jail for 10 years prior to him meeting Amanda. One day he randomly calls Amanda and tells her that someone came to one of the weed farms in Oklahoma and basically served a paper saying that it was a warrant out for his arrest. Now, because he told Amanda that he had a history of being in jail and it was because of drugs, Amanda wasn't super shocked. But also the way that he runs his business and the way that he carries himself, it's kind of like, how could this happen? Somebody must have told on you because you don't move like that. Greg was pretty boring. He went to work. He didn't drink. He didn't smoke. That, only thing that he did was spend time with Amanda and go to work. So basically he was trying to prepare Amanda to not hear from him for a while. Now this is where things get a little tricky. This is when all the lies start to show themselves. He tells Amanda that he's not new to this and he's going to find a way to contact her when he gets to jail. Now, weeks have gone by. Amanda has heard from him every now and then, but she's starting to see that his pattern with her is changing. Greg used to talk to Amanda all day while he was at work. Now, this is all leading up to the warrant. He would call her at random to just check on her. He did these little check-ins. It wasn't a time where they weren't talking. Now we're fast forwarding after the warrant. So she's thinking maybe this was why he was acting so standoffish and he was being so distant with me. Now at this point, Greg is kind of checking in. He's very inconsistent. And little by little, he starts to go ghost on her. Amanda assumes that he's dealing with his baby mama or another woman has come into the play. Until one day, Greg calls her from a different number. He says that, "I've been locked up, babe. That's why you haven't heard from me. I got a phone. So this is the phone that I'm going to be able to contact you from." Now, I don't care how many times you're going to be in the jail. You're not going to get a phone that quick. It's just not going to happen. Not to mention, the warrant was in a different city than where he was originally locked up. So me and Amanda are both kind of like, this doesn't make any sense. The math just ain't math. So I basically tell Amanda, like, he's playing games, bump him. We got options. Just deal with one of your other ones. Now, remember when I told y'all that Greg liked to be intimate with Amanda when she was on her cycle? Little did we know, Greg had been performing rituals on Amanda. This is why Amanda felt like she was always being watched. This is why Amanda started to see the shadows dancing on the wall. Now, as a spiritualist myself, I stay prayed up. I stay prayed up for myself and my friends. And Amanda came to me asking me to do a reading for her. Now, in the back of my mind, I kind of feel like I already know what's going on. But I'm going to do the reading because I lie, you lie, he lie, but the cards don't lie, spirit don't lie. So whatever is happening will come out. We did the reading. It did confirm that there was some things going on. There was some suspicious activities, and there was another woman involved. Y'all, we had no idea that Greg was never in jail at all. In fact, he was in Georgia, where Amanda lives. Yeah, see, Greg, he had been very, very, very busy. Now, I know y'all love to think that women are the only ones out here that are doing spell work, love spells, rituals on men. But the gag is, Greg was a busy, busy bee. Y'all already know what time it is. If you want a part 4, comment down below, get this video to 10,000 views, and y'all might see my face again. Hey, boo, you ready for that part 4? So we left off on the part where we found out that Greg had not been in jail, and in fact, Greg had been a very busy bee. Amanda and I both had our suspicions that Greg had been dealing with another woman. There was no real physical proof, but I did the reading. The cards don't lie, people do. And the reading definitely confirmed that there was another woman in the mix. Turns out the real truth behind why Greg ghosted Amanda was way more sinister than we thought. So remember when I told y'all that Greg had been performing rituals on Amanda? Unbeknownst to Amanda, she's just thinking that she's tripping, she's tired all of a sudden. She's seeing, every time she goes to New Orleans, she's seeing shadows on the wall. She feels like she's being watched. She kind of feels like she's being spiritually harassed at this point. And on top of that, Amanda, she was really big into fitness at this point. So her weight had been up and down. She couldn't really pinpoint why. Obviously, she's trying to make reasonable explanations, or I've eaten a lot. Turns out the last time Amanda saw Greg, she was in fact on her cycle, and she left a few things behind. The things that she left behind consisted of hairbrush with her hair in it, some old clothes that were dirty, which included her panties, and a hair clip. So all this time while Greg had ghosted Amanda or went to jail, he was actually performing rituals on her, trying to get this love spell to work. And the crazy thing is, this was affecting Amanda, but just not in the way or the capacity that Greg expected it to. So, I mean, naturally, she was fatigued. She was tired. Sometimes she would have unexplained outbursts or emotional responses to things. She even started getting to the point where she started going a little crazy about Greg and his whereabouts. But what Greg didn't account for is that Amanda is from Honduras. So she is extremely protected. Now, a little side note, Amanda would tell me from time to time she would have like a shadow figure following her. Now, this was before she met Greg. Turns out this shadowy figure had been with her since she was a child, and she would see it every now and then. It would present itself to her, but it didn't want to scare her. Amanda would go on to have dreams about this shadow figure. From this point, the figure would start to show Amanda things that were happening around her spiritually that she was not aware of. One in particular situation being that night that Amanda had went to New Orleans to see Greg and they had spicy time on her period, Greg actually put something in Amanda's drink to make sure she was asleep. Wow. So that he could perform said rituals. He already had her blood, he already had her hair, and he had items that belonged to her clothing, her panties, the whole full 9 yards. But he didn't expect her to wake up that night. So panicking, Greg pushes everything under the bed, creeps back into the bed, and kind of like shuts down, tries to control his breathing so she doesn't know that he has been up. So the shadow figure is starting to show her that he was halfway done through his ritual. He only really needed to do one more thing in order for it to stick on her. Within the same dream, the shadow figure also starts to show Amanda Greg's whereabouts during this ghosting phase. Turns out the items that he had, that he kept, he took those items to a voodoo doctor. From that point, the voodoo doctor hexed the items, told Greg all he needed to do was get Amanda to get her belongings, and she basically wouldn't be able to get away from him. Now here's where things get interesting. Amanda is no fool. So she most definitely took those dreams as a warning. Honorable mention, the shadow figure also showed Amanda that the voodoo doctor gave Greg 1 week in order to get her items back to her so that the love spell could take full effect. If Greg did not get her those items, everything would backfire and fall on him. So now Greg is literally trying to beat the clock. He's contacting Amanda. Amanda has basically gone ghost on Greg. All in the name of feeling like there was another woman involved and because of the message that she received through her dreams. Amanda and I went on to do some heavy prayers, making sure that she was protected, giving away anything that maybe he had given her or any stuff that she had that was his, and basically doing a whole cleanse. So at this point, he can no longer get in contact with Amanda. She's basically done with him. So as you can imagine, the love spell did in fact backfire. Amanda is no longer seeing shadow figures dancing around her. She no longer feels paranoid. And her weight has finally gotten back to the place that she feels like she wants it. But Greg, oh baby honey child, Greg has been stalking Amanda for a year. He hits her up on Mother's Day. He's contacted her son via Facebook. He's contacted her friends via Facebook. He's managed to actually find one of her friends' phone numbers to contact her and see if she knows where Amanda is. To take it a step further, he leaves her voicemails. Any holiday, he'll just text her and say, hey, Amanda, I hope you have a good Thanksgiving or Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever it is. Greg still tries to get into contact with Amanda till this day. He even sends her messages basically letting her know that if he finds her, he would never give her up. He would never let her go. Stop doing love spells on people, okay? Because when they backfire, they hit hard. I know y'all thought it was Amanda that did the love spell. Nope, it was Greg. Y'all better watch these men, okay? Because they crazy too. Hey, boo, you ready for that part 4?
All right.
So we left off on the part where we found out that...
Let me stop sharing. That's crazy. All right, we're going to go to another Rebecca Journey story. Another story from Rebecca Journey, and then we're going to leave it here.
We're going to call the person who submitted the story Mia. Mia was born and raised in Nigeria, and she says that from her tribe, they practice a lot of voodoo. And Mia herself also comes from a family of voodoo priestess. Mia states that her family is so powerful, they never needed tools to do magic, nor did they ever need to go to someone else to help them out. If anything, people would always come to Mia's family for help. Mia says that they could put someone under a spell by just speaking. So she winds up moving to America when she was 15. And she says that she still practices her voodoo in the States. So fast forward to Mia being 22. At this point, Mia's in college, and on her way to her college campus, there was a coffee shop. In that coffee shop, there was a white, sexy guy, apparently. We're gonna call the hot, sexy white guy Jake. But Mia was head over heels for Mr. Colonite, Jake. However, Mia felt like Jake never gave her the time of day. Now, she questioned, is it because she's black? Maybe he doesn't like black girls. But after months of going to this coffee shop and trying to get Jake's attention organically, she decided to turn matters into her own hands. Now, she says that she really didn't want to do this, but Jake forced her hand. Mia says, but honestly, when I want something, I gotta have it. Now, Mia has never been luckily in love. All her past flings always ended in disappointment. Mind you, she would even have a few dates here and there. Either every date would fizzle out or it would just end in some sort of like awkward silence. At this point, Mia is desperate for a spark. She did what any self-respecting, hopeless romantic with internet access would do. She turned to witchcraft. She decided to go back to her roots. She says, again, she really wasn't gonna do this to Jake, but this video popped up on her page, reminding her that she has the ability to put people under love spells. That's when it hit her. She says the spell was simple enough. I don't know if I should tell y'all what she did. I ain't gonna tell y'all every detail of this love spell, but I'm gonna read some of it. She says a red candle, a drop of blood, and the name of the person you desired written on parchment. She says, speak your heart's true wish. State your intentions. After you've done all your work, you've completed your ritual, then let the universe conspire in your favor. Now, before that, Jake had merely acknowledged her existence. That was just a minor detail, because things were about to change. She has the candle in her hand and taking a deep breath. With a deep breath, she whispers into the flame, I wish for Jake to love me deeply, madly, forever. Candle flickered, the parchment turned to ash. The room for a second there smelled like roses. So the next morning, when Mia walks into the cafe, not really knowing what to expect, Jake was already staring at her from the door. It's like he's really staring at her. He goes to her and he's like, Mia. He ran to her and he's like, Mia, you came. He sounds so emotionally invested. Mia's like, I mean, yeah. And before she can even finish her sentence, he got on his knees and said, you are my sun, my moon, my every breath. My soul has waited centuries for you. This guy had turned full on William Shakespeare. And Mia's like, oh, no. So Mia's just nervously laughing, but Jake is dead ass. That day, he followed her home. He was sending her music by the hour. By the end of the day, y'all, this man had carved her name into his arm using a pocket knife. By the end of the week, he had quit his job to devote himself entirely to their love. By the end of the month, he had built a shrine to her in his apartment, completed with candles, love letters, and what was a locket of her hair. And the way that Mia knew about the shrine in his apartment was because Jake became very open about this. Jake was very open about his undying love for her. He posted this. So now at this point, Mia is freaked out. He's frantically looking for some sort of reversal spell. But the deed was already done. He just knew how to put the spell on him. Tried everything. Tried retracing her steps, nothing. Burning sage, nothing. That she even convinced Jake one night to come hang out with her, and she dunked Jake in salt water. He even gave him a firm speech about boundaries. Nothing worked. Jake would just keep popping up. But one night, as she's barricading her door, she heard a knock on the other side. And it was Jake calling out for Mia. Mia, her stomach drops. Like, the dude says, and I quote, if I can't have you, then I'll just make sure that no one else can. Mia says, my stomach turned to ice. Mia says at this point, she grabs her phone, getting ready to call help. And one of her ancestors popped up to tell her about herself. Says the air shifted in the room. And she says she can hear it in a whisper. And she just knew it was her ancestor speaking to her, saying, is this what you wanted? She turned around and responded to the figure, her ancestor, and said, I just wanted Jake to like me. I just wanted someone. And her ancestor says, love is never so simple. But you know that, my child. Suddenly, wind started gushing, and just like that, with no trace whatsoever, Jake was gone. Following day, as she was walking to class, she looks in the cafe, and Jake was not there. Pretty much, she has yet to see Jake after that day. Has no idea what happened to Jake. However, she does have a new love interest. It's the barista that replaced Jake. She has a thing for baristas. Thank you so much for submitting this story. If you have a spooky story that you want me to tell, feel free to either DM me on TikTok or Instagram. And while you're at it, just be sure to follow me on Instagram just so that I know that it's real. Duh. And subscribe to my YouTube channel for longer, better, and spookier stories. Like I say in every single video, I love you, my abducted human.
All right, y'all. Wait, let me share one more. I remember this movie, and it's so important with evil. Man, it was bad.
I'm happy to be home, sweetheart. First, let me call my mother and let her know.
I'm not calling anyone. Okay. Shut up.
Marla, to help me listen. Why you back on your honeymoon? Everything went wrong. Everything went wrong. Okay. No, you give him 4 drops and a glass of wine, like I told you. Well, it was an accident. The whole valve fell in. What? What? Oh, how much of the vial I gave you to drink? I don't know, the whole thing. Oh, no. Oh, find something to reverse it. I want you to go back to the house, just pack your things, Noah. And I want you to get out of the house, Noah. The amount of that.
So what she did was she was trying to make him stay because of his daughter and baby mom or whatever. And she put the whole vial, it flipped in, trying to hurry up and give it to him. It's a movie on BT Plus. I forgot the name of the movie. And she tried to sit there and give it to him or whatever, and she gave him the whole thing. And he has been so, when I say possessive, you saw how he snatched the phone out of her hand. He didn't want her calling nobody, nothing. They just got married because she wanted to marry him, and that's when it started going left. It started going left. Yep. And she is, I'm gonna let it play.
That portion that you give him, it ruin every man to do terrible thing. Any woman he love, he will love to death. Wherever you go, he gonna track you down and find you. You'll be running forever. You can take matters into your own hand. Make sure he never harm you or nobody else. Either you kill him or he will surely kill you.
I'm happy to be home, sweetheart.
If y'all watched it, that's what he did. He did unalive her, and the moment he unalived her, he went out on a date with somebody else. He unalived her, went on a date with somebody else. He started eating her arm, eating her leg. He ate her, and then went out on a date with somebody else because he didn't want nobody to have her. It's a movie on BET with Eva. Y'all go check it out. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next live. I'm gonna do a short live on Real Housewives of Atlanta and Real Housewives of Potomac, and then tonight we just gonna go on a long live about Dame Dash, Cameron, and Charlamagne. So it's Dame Dash versus everybody tonight. Oh, and DJ Envy and everybody from the Berkeley. Yeah, except for Jess. It is Dame Dash against everybody tonight. See you guys later. Thank you guys for watching.